Welcome to Talk from the Terraces. Today I'll be reacting to a video by TalkSport on the Times called Why is Football Violence Increasing? Now there's also been other things in the news, as you will see now from pictures. The EFL have launched their own campaign called For Football's Sake. And you'll see a couple of pictures that are coming up now. But anyway, here's the video, so let's get into it.
Everybody out when we get up to the lights for us.
There's been a dramatic increase in violence and disorder at football grounds around the country this season, almost a 50% increase in arrests. So we're here today, Nottingham Forest game against Leicester City in FA Cup, to see for ourselves, with the police, what the problems are.
50% is a big increase.
Today's game is Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City. Attendance is a sellout. Both groups are aware of the other group's presence today and are looking forward to them being out.
We're standing here in 2022 and we're still talking about firms that are called the Baby Squad and the Forest Executive Crew, and these groups still exist.
Yes, they do. Very often they'll have just one day a year that they'll come out, which they'll refer to as their flag day, and they'll have a reunion more than anything.
But one of the things we are seeing, is it not right, is a kind of a growth of younger people getting involved in this kind of sort of teenagers, children.
The youngest band that we've had in Nottinghamshire is a lad from Mansfield who was on a ban at 13 years of age.
One of the things that came out in the statistics, but also in the report into what happened at the European Championship final, was the amount of drug abuse, the amount of Class A drug abuse, cocaine abuse, that seems to have a connection with football violence. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, yesterday we had quite a substantial amount of cocaine recovered, particularly in one instance, that shows that it is rife amongst the groups. You've got a 13-year-old, 14-year-old lad who knocks about with 40, 50-year-old men. And you do have concerns when you speak to parents and they don't know who these adults are. But we have had one instance certainly that we've proven that the young person was carrying cocaine for the group that they were with, because they know that they'll perhaps not get searched on the way in.
How old were they?
That individual was 15, but it's just a small minority that are taking drugs, and it's fueling the disorder.
Well, cocaine is nothing new. I mean, it's always been used on the football scene. But as you've just heard, you're now getting youngsters mixing with the older lot, whereas back in the day you used to have the main firm, then you used to have the youth firm, which was called the under fives, but now they all seem to be mixing together. And as the old Bill just said, is these main firms seem to be coming out for a flag day or a reunion. That's the Baby Squad, thinking how much they hate Nottingham.
Speaking to some general commuters, they told me that the behaviour of the fans on there was horrendous. Their experience of being on the train with them was horrendous. That it's turned into effectively like a pub. So it's Weatherspoons in a confined area.
The train services do actually try and put on special trains for the fans, but they know that you can't drink on those services, so they get the run-of-the-mill service.
That's correct, yes.
The officers have just said that there's fighting in a pub quite near here, so
it's kicking off. Don't know which firm that is. It's kind of big pub.
Yeah, let's go.
Right, everybody out when we get up to the lights for us.
Officers on scene have called for more units, which is why we all came, because they couldn't control what was here. So the plan is to get hold of me while we get more resources and push the Forest group out of the way.
Well, a lot of these guys are known to the police, are they?
A lot of these are known to my colleague Dave. These are the ones that will actively seek disorder if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
So now we're going to try and prevent that.
There's a lot of old school Forest out getting penned in by the looks of it.
Yeah, there was hand-to-hand fighting outside the pub.
With Forest fans.
And missiles being thrown, yeah, Forest and Leicester.
So yeah, we've got a bit of a bottleneck here. So we've got Forest fans that they're trying to contain down there. What I'm reading these Leicester City fans.
It's pretty much a pattern of what's been going on across the country, week in, week out at the minute, where the police have got to put themselves in the way of groups trying to fight each other. We've had a knuckle duster discarded at the scene as well, so clearly they've come with weapons, pre-planned, with intent to fight.
And this is definitely an escalation you're seeing since the summer and the last season.
Since the season started, incidents of disorder across the country. It's not just associated with one or two teams, it's every team across the country.
Is the motivation for you to basically try and protect the majority of people we're seeing here and make sure that they still want to keep coming to football, that the minority don't ruin it for the majority?
Yes, so we want to isolate the minority, which is what we've done today by the different tactics that we've used on both sets of supporters, and so people can come and enjoy their match day event.
Football can only react. What it can do is it can ask the police to work with them on sentencing guidelines so that people are dealt with in this most strident fashion.
He's been arrested, he's in custody now, and as you say, it just highlights the unprecedented number of incidents inside and outside the stadiums all over the country at the minute.
This is a mindless minority that are ruining football to some degree. You're one of the dedicated full-time football police officers for the country. How do you move forward? How are you going to try and, what steps can be taken to try and get a handle on this?
It needs everyone working together. It needs Premier League, the EFL, the FA, the police, the football clubs. We've seen today how everyone's worked together with the stewards from Forest and Leicester, British Transport Police. We've had Leicestershire officers here as well as Nottingham officers. But it needs help from the government as well. We need tougher sentences, football banning orders for the right offences. The gentleman who went on the pitch today will be seeking the maximum banning order for him, which does act as a deterrent. Football banning orders do work.
So as you've just seen, there seems to be a new generation coming through the ranks. Police have just said on that video, as you heard, week in, week out, since the season has started, that they're dealing with different factions of fans that are trying to fight each other. They've also said that cocaine is a big factor, but quite frankly, this is nothing new. Also, what I got from the video is that the youth firms and the main lot are mixing, where there used to be the youth firms called the under fives, and then the main lot. This seems to be that they're all mixing. So why are we seeing this? I think, to me, there's a couple of questions. I suppose, as long as there's football, will there always be football violence? Is it a part of British culture? And will lads be lads? We all know not what nearly killed off football violence, and that was down to one little pill called ecstasy and the rave scene. Members of different firms got to know each other through raving, and it died down because people started getting respect for each other. But was there always going to be a time where we got bored of dancing in the muddy field, off our nuts to repetitive beats, and return to football, what we know and love? And I think the answer and the proof is in the pudding with this new generation that is coming through. So coming up on UK Casuals Talks 2 series, we have Eddie Crispin, Pompey 657 Part 2 coming back. Also, look out now for Pananaro Mag Issue 3. A quick preview. Don't blink or you'll miss it. And last but not least, a big shout out to Casual Minds Matter. I mentioned them on my last podcast. They're a men's mental health group, but from the football lads' perspective. They're based in Burnley at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be going nationwide soon as they seem to be gathering a lot of support. Please check out their Facebook group. And if you haven't already joined, then please do. If you liked what you've seen today and enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and also check out our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram accounts. Thanks for watching.